This document is for Warden eyes only. Colonials caught with this and other documents will be executed. Recruit, I'm Commander Bear. Today's lesson will feature flanking an outnumbered tank, taking the least amount of damage in the process. This footage was provided by one of our intelligence officers on Faranac Coast. In this engagement, we will see two of our fellow Warden tanks take on a single Colonial tank. By the end of this film reel, you'll notice that neither of the Warden tanks have been disabled and the Colonial tank will be destroyed. The engagement centers around a crossroads held by the Colonial tank. Both Warden tanks approach it, but not at the same time. One Warden tank engages first, and then the second one follows up. So at this point, slowing down the reel, we can see the first Warden tank has already engaged the Colonial tank. The second Warden tank charges the Colonial tank instead of remaining in a static position. This is to draw all the attention towards the second Warden tank, as it is currently undamaged by the Colonial tank, alleviating the first Warden tank of suffering any more damage from Colonial fire. Now this brave tank commander specifically puts his tank right up in the face of the enemy tank. That way the enemy is fixated solely on his tank. A brave move indeed. Once the tanks collide, the Warden tank flanks the Colonial tank in an attempt to get him to expose his rear to the first Warden tank. At this point, we already know the battle's won. The Colonial tank will surely take more damage than either of the Warden tanks in this engagement. The only possibility of escape for the Colonial tank would have been to withdraw steadily and without stopping, but instead, this Colonial turns to face the second Warden tank, essentially dooming his crew to an early death. And just as planned, the first Warden tank, after having reloaded, follows up with an armor-piercing round right to the rear of the Colonial tank, right in the weak spot. Both tanks decide to follow Gentleman's rules. However, at this point, the Colonials are not surrendering and they finish off the job. This was a simple engagement, but the Wardens could have come off far worse than they did in the end. A simple engagement, but every tactical advantage saves the glorious Warden army valuable supplies and resources, and time, considering they did not have to repair their tanks immediately after this engagement.
Guys, can you text the...
Alright, Recruit, that's it for now. And remember, good luck, keep your heads down, and stay in your foxholes. Bear, out.